Good morning, baseball fans, and welcome back to Dan's Vintage Baseball PC. Do not be fooled by that fancy name. It's just me and some friends talking about baseball cards. And today, we're happy to welcome back our old friend Stacy, who you might recall from that pretty awesome Yogi Berra collection, is back to show us his Roy Campanella collection, which is, and I will be a spoiler here, equally awesome. So let's talk a little bit about Roy Campanella, the great catcher for the Dodgers in the 1950s. I brought up his first page of his baseball reference. Of course, he was a catcher. He was born in Philadelphia. He is the son of an Italian-American father and an African-American mother. As a biracial child, he grew up in the north of Philly and actually went to an integrated school in the 1930s. The great thing about Campanella that I remember from his youth is that he was a captain of all the sports teams in his high school. So he wasn't just a great baseball player; he was a great athlete. And at the age of 15, he begins to play part-time in the Negro Leagues for the Washington Elite Generals, who then become the following year the Baltimore Elite Generals. And so from the age of 15 up until the war, Campanella plays in the Negro Leagues because he is, as a biracial individual, not eligible to play in the major leagues. But he comes in right after Jackie Robinson and signs with Brooklyn. And plays a couple of years in the minor leagues and comes up and becomes the regular catcher for the Dodgers in 1949. From 1949 through 1957, he is almost certainly the best catcher in the National League and appears in All-Star games, I believe, from 1949 to 1956 every season. He wins 3 Most Valuable Player awards. Of course, wins the World Series in 1955. In 1957, he doesn't have a great season, but the Dodgers are going to move to Los Angeles. Roy Campanella owned a liquor store in Manhattan and would work in the liquor store and then go back home to Glen Cove, Long Island. And on a wet night in January, he got in a serious car accident, single car accident. His car slipped off the road, and he was paralyzed from the shoulders down. He spent the remainder of his life rehabilitating to the point where he was able to use his arms and hands, and ultimately becomes a Dodger legend. He works for the Dodgers for the remainder of his life. And he becomes a regular at Dodger Stadium. Campanella passed away in 1983 at the age of 1993. My eyesight's going. At the age of 71. Certainly one of the greatest players of the 1950s. Certainly one of the greatest Dodgers of all time. And one of the greatest catchers of all time. He's elected, of course, to the Hall of Fame. And is now enshrined as well as should be. So let me bring Stacy on now. If you recall, Stacy was our Yogi Berra collector, and now he's going to be our Roy Campanella super collector. Good morning, my friend. How are you?
Good morning, Dan. I'm doing great, buddy. It's good to see you again.
So anything about the introduction that you'd like to add?
It sounded pretty spot on to me. Campy, he was such an amazing player and such an amazing person. It's one of the things, I don't know if you've seen the movie 42. One of the things I love about 42, I'm read some things as saying that it was accurate. Campy was also considered, instead of Jackie, as being the first Negro League player to come to Major League Baseball. But they thought he was too sweet. He was too nice of a person that he wouldn't be able to take the abuse as being the first one getting the brunt of it.
So what happened is they signed a Newcomb also.
Yes.
And so Campanella and Newsom they didn't want them to be in like a Southern League, so they sent them to Nashua, New Hampshire, where they
Yeah.
both raked, and they played for Walter Alston there. Walter Alston was
Yes.
the manager, and so at one point, Alston, I guess, got thrown out of a game or something. He appointed Campanella to manage the team. So Campanella actually became the first African American manager in organized baseball.
That's awesome.
Although, I mean, there may have been, in the 19th century or something, but the reality is he's also the first African American player to play in the Southern League. I'm sorry, not the Southern League, the American Association. He played for St. Paul for a half a season before he came up to the Dodgers for good.
Right.
So he was the first African American player in a number of different aspects of the game. So certainly a pioneer.
Absolutely. As one of the things that I, like, with my Yogi collection with Campy, I like collecting people who not only were they great baseball players, but they were great human beings.
Mm-hmm.
And that's one of the things that drew me to Campy and, drew me to Yogi and Pee Wee Reese and some of the other guys I collect. It's who they are as people on top of who they are as a player that I love the most.
Yeah, I mean, there's that famous game. I believe it was in 1959 at the Coliseum when the Dodgers, went to LA. They played in the Coliseum for a few years before Dodger Stadium opened, and it was a benefit for Campanella, and medical expenses for his accident. And the Yankees, who were on a road trip over at like Kansas City or something, agreed to fly all the way to California, play one game, and then fly back. And I think they were in Chicago the next night or something. So it's the largest crowd. I think it was 83,000 people, the largest crowd to ever see a baseball game. And it was, a miraculous evening for, in celebration of Campanella. And I think your point is good, because it was, if he wasn't the person that he was at that point, he probably would not have gotten the kind of accolades and that, and everybody coming out for him that happened that magical night.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, it's one of the things that it inspires me, in my collections to find those players, to find the people, and to read the stories about the people who are just generally good, and
Yeah.
that's definitely what's drawn me to them.
That, I feel like that's a good sort of way to collect, generally speaking. Yeah, like, as my viewers are aware, I have quite a few player runs, and the player runs are people, not only great players and interesting stories, but good people also. Like,
Right.
Warren Spahn was a war hero, and
Yes.
Bob Feller was the first person to sign up for the war. Sandy Koufax is Jewish American pioneer. So I mean, those are the kinds of things that I think that you and I both agree on.
Yeah,
it's
absolutely.
not just collecting; it's collecting people too. You don't want a picture of somebody up there who didn't have didn't have a great history.
There's I've got we've talked about it before. I've got my Larson Perfect Game subset.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a couple players on there that I wouldn't normally have up on my display if they weren't part of that, part of that subset, part of that lineup that day.
Yep. They they did
on
intersect.
both sides.
Yeah, exactly.
Dodgers and Yankees. There's a couple that I just wouldn't.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a terribly big Billy Martin fan for a whole host of reasons. So, but I have Billy Martin in a few sets because I collect the sets. So anyway, let's get on to your collection. I'd love to chat with you here, my friend. But so I didn't start with my cards, but my brief and small Campanella collection shall indeed only take a couple of seconds. There's the 53 Bowman on the far left, the 56 Topps, which is a card I love in an SGC 5, and we'll come back to that set a little bit later. The card below that, which is the Dodgers team card from 1956, which also I'd love to show this one because it's a 7. You can see actually Campanella. You can't see it from here, but Jackie is in the photograph. Well, I had it upside down. Jackie is right here, and Campanella is right here.
Right.
You can see them both pretty easily. So I like to show that one off. Of course, then there's the 4-player. What do they call it? Dodgers sluggers. the 1957 card with the right field of Ebbets Field in the background. That has Furla, Hodges, Campanella, and Snyder on it. And then his last Players' Day card, which is the 1957. So yesterday in the mail, I got this. In 1950, Campanella, the Bowman, a card that I've owned a couple of times, but I've never been happy with the example that I own. So I went out and got this one, which is really nicely centered. My last one was like really off left to right. But I think there's like a little bit of a print defect here, and it's a little stained. So I actually don't have it in my hands because it's in my office where I keep all my SGC sub candidates. So that's probably going to go to SGC in the next couple of weeks. So here we are. This is what I like to call the money shot. It's actually a conglomeration of two shots because your collection of Campanella is so big that it can't fit on one. So let's. I mean, there's a lot here. We'll go through more individual ones, but is there anything in this particular display that you want to pull out that we don't have individual shots for?
Yeah, there's a few here that I like talking about. Like first one, let's just talk about this one first. The photo on the left, the top right blue envelope, that is a 52 Star Cal decal. Now, every baseball player Star Cal decal I've ever seen has a red envelope. And one of our friends in our vintage chat, Rob, actually found that at a card shop. I think he lives in Seattle or somewhere out west. I'm off the top of my head, I'm not really certain. But he found that in a card shop and bought it. And then messaged me in the group right away and said, "Hey, Stacy, you interested in this?" Excuse me. And I'm like, "Yes, absolutely." And at the time I was at one of my card shows. One of my art shows, and was not able to do anything about it right at the moment. And but in the process of the next few minutes, I told him that I definitely wanted to buy it from him. In the process of the next few minutes, Ian and Hunter bought the card from him and paid for him to ship it to me, to give it to me as a random act of kindness, or just kindness in general, whatever you want to call that. But that is a one of a kind. I have searched and searched and searched, and I even messaged Jason at Heritage and I think one other auction house, asking them if they had ever seen a blue envelope Star Cal decal of a baseball player. Mayacord is the company that made those decals. And there are ones, like there's celebrity ones that have, Frank Sinatra and Marilyn Monroe, others. I'm just naming names. I'm not certain that those have them or not, but just different celebrities. And they have blue envelopes, but the blue envelopes have stars all around them. This one has no stars. And then they also did things like flowers and other, decals that people would put in their homes on whatever, like floral prints and, other nature things. And those had blue envelopes. So I'm wondering if for some reason this one Campanella ended up in a blue envelope, or maybe there were other ones at some point and they're just not very many out there, but I have never seen another one in blue. And it's just perfect because it's the whole thing now, they say color match.
Right.
It's the same
That's
color
the
as
Dodger blue.
Yeah.
And it's not it's not a dark navy blue or whatever, or turquoise or whatever number,
Right.
whatever color you want to give it, but it's actually Dodger blue, which is fantastic.
And
that, so you're telling me that's the only one?
That's the only one I cannot find. Jason at Heritage said he'd
That's a
never seen it.
true
He thought
one of
maybe it was
one.
fake. What's that?
It's a
Yeah,
true
it's a
one
true
of
one
one.
on one.
Good for you.
I've never seen any. Although you look at them, you look at all the Star Cal decals, and I've been looking ever since that. And that was, I think 22 is when that happened, and I've been looking ever since, and I've never seen another one in blue with a baseball player in it. The one directly to its left, I got from Dylan in a trade for, that is the 1951 Wheaties Premium, and that is extremely tough one to find as well. Dylan used to have that amazing catcher collection.
Right.
And I had a 1954 Jackie Robinson All-Star photo pack. And he wanted to trade the Jackie for the Campy and that that was a no brainer for me. I got a really good deal on. I bought several of those all the photos all together, and he's like, "Yeah, I've got this. Would you be interested in trading this for the jacket?" I'm like, "Yeah." He actually even threw in a little extra money on top of it as well, but that
Good.
was a great trade as well.
Well, if
And
you may know this, but Ian and Hunter and also Dylan have been guests on this very show. So
they have, absolutely.
the good guys in the hobby, all of them.
One more to that's left. The round one is another one
Uh-huh.
that's really rare. That is an HO oatmeal. Excuse me, for some reason I got to clear my throat here.
HO? I
Yes,
think I know that company.
H-O oatmeal.
Yeah.
And that's it's an actual record
Oh,
that you
really?
could put on a record player and play, and it plays like, a how to catch or whatever kind of thing. But
It's like those the 60s they did the oral vision. I have the Spawn back there, which is a record that I
yeah,
fortunately never played.
and I'm pretty certain it is. I'm questioning myself if it is or not, but it has the hole in the middle and everything. So
Right,
I'm pretty
right. If it
certain
has a
that
hole in the
that's
middle, I don't, yeah, that's
yeah,
got to be. Yeah.
yeah.
And so a couple of cards that I just want to point out because they're obviously they were not easy for you to acquire. One is of course the 49 Bowman, the orange one in the far bottom left.
Yes.
That's the rookie, right?
Yes, that is the rookie. That one I got on eBay, and it's one that I need to I need to upgrade. Pardon me this morning. I'm sorry about that. It's one that I need to upgrade. I got that on eBay, and after getting it, realized that it was trimmed,
Oh,
so
okay.
it's missing about a 32nd of an inch off the bottom,
Oh,
and
and
I'm
I
like,
see the 54 Bowman in there. I just realized I actually have that card, and I didn't display it because I don't have it in the slab. I have it in in the binder. And the other one, I did the show with Sean, our friend, with the 52 tops. Is you got the 52 tops high number Campanella there, which
yes,
can't have been easy to acquire.
I got that. That
Yeah,
was just back last fall. I don't as a doing art shows here.
let us see it again.
Yeah, there we
Yeah,
go.
there we go. Yep,
Sorry about the glare there, but I
high
got that
number.
back in October. I doing art shows full time as I'm a landscape photographer. I don't get to go to many card shows because they're on weekends, the same as my art shows. And when I was in Asheville, there were hardly any shows up there. But now we moved, down the mountain down to Hickory, and there's a card show that happens here every quarter. And
Uh-huh.
so we went for just like the first card show we've been to in like a year and a half or 2 years. We went back in October, and walking around the show, we went mainly for Marley to find 56 tops for her set. And I saw the Campy there, and I'm like, oh gosh, that's one of the only Campies that I still needed. There's actually only, I think, 3 others that I don't have, as according to the trading card database. As far as his playing days cards,
Right.
and we were looking at it, and I really expressed how much I wanted, because every time I've tried to get one, they just get way too high on eBay. And so I was off walking around with Marley, and Kelly went back over to talk to the dealer that had it, and she didn't tell me that she bought it, and I had a feeling maybe that she was going to, but I didn't ask. And then when we got home that afternoon, she's like, "Hey, I got something for you," and she handed me the card. I'm like, "Oh my gosh, are you kidding me?" But yeah,
Well,
so that was
Stacy,
just
I guess we all have, all of us who are married have the wives who put up with it, the card thing. But yours, bless her soul, is a contributor.
she is she's great. It's when you have a relationship that that you both really genuinely just want to make the other person happy, make the other person smile, and do everything you can for them. And that's what I try to do for her, and that's what she definitely does for me. It's the after the Yogi show, and I know you probably know about it, or I assume you do. Like for Christmas, she gave me that Yogi Berra "It Ain't Over Till It's Over" autographed bat.
Yep.
And it's like, oh, you're kidding me. But, yeah, so I was just shocked that she walked up and handed me the 52
Well, that's
tops there. That was,
I mean, that's part of the reason that it's that it's so special is not
yeah,
only that it's just a tough card of a great
yes,
player, but where you got it from is of course part of the whole story. So I know these are toughies because I collect Burke Ross, although 51, that's the 52 on the right, and
yes,
had a discussion, I guess, a few shows ago about the Drake's cards because those are tough ones too.
they are.
Um, yeah. So how'd you get the Drakes?
The Drakes I got, let's see if I can get it to you there. There's
Hold
my
on.
Drakes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful card,
It is a really nice one.
we
I
didn't
found
mention it.
that
Go ahead.
I found that one on eBay. I was up at, I believe it was the same week that we got the guys got the Star Cow decal for me because we were up in Banner Elk, North Carolina I had an art show. It was the week of July 4th, and we went and stayed the whole week up on Beach Mountain before the show in Banner Elk. And I just had it in my saved list, and it popped up on eBay. Like one morning, I've got the save searches. It popped up on there, and I'm like, I've got to have this,
Yeah, I just
and
had that this morning. I had an
instant,
email from eBay that one of my
yeah,
saved searches a card came up, and I was like, I panicked because it was like, oh, wait, this price is too good. So I jumped in, and then I realized it wasn't a buy it now price. It was the
starting bid.
beginning price on
Oh
a
God,
bid. So
I
I'm
see that.
watching it now. So
Yeah,
it's a very very good aspect of eBay is the same search. So happy that worked out for you. Now the card on the right is, as you know, you've got this picture about 10 times in your
yeah,
collection.
that is
It's a,
the iconic,
yeah,
the iconic shot. And
they
there's,
used it
let's see,
for I believe the 51 tops. They have that uses that. Well, let's go back. Just for a second, let me go back to the money shot here, and you got it in this here. I don't know. Can people see my cursor? I don't think so. You got it in that photograph that's next to the star decal.
yeah, that's
Um,
the 51 Wheaties,
yeah, you got it in the 51 Bowman. You
correct?
got it in the Venezuela card,
Right.
um, which we'll see a little bit later. And it's in a couple of others too. It might even
It
be in
is.
this.
Let's see here. It is on the Wheaties, the 52 Wheaties, the
Right. Oh
small
yeah,
one
yeah,
on
yeah.
the
The
front on the
52 Wheaties
right.
right there. Yeah. Yep. Yep.
And the big thing, and then if you give me just a second, I'm gonna grab something real quick.
All right.
Is this as well. And if you can see this, let me turn that for. That is autographed.
Oh, whoa, 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 whoa. Yes. Oh, wow.
That is his, of course, post-accident autograph. But I
Yeah.
think there's 250 of these, I believe, is the number.
Right.
This is a statue that Kelly actually got me this one for my birthday in 21, I believe. But so that is like the center piece in the back of the collection there. You can see it's, the 39 in the back and everything. It's just
Yep.
this awesome statue that that she got me for that. And of course it's, just goes right along with all the other shots of me.
So, just a side note on his autograph. Um, Mike, the sports collector, who was on my 1961 Yankees show, like it was either last weekend. Yeah, I think it was last weekend. Mike has an amazing 55 Dodger collection, and he and I were on another show together, not mine, but another show, and he was talking about how Campanella signed after the accident, and he didn't have use of his hands right away, or his arms, and he gradually got that through physical therapy, and ultimately, um, he did sign a lot post accident, and they had like a brace that where his hand was being held, and he would sign it and I'm just sort of holding in my hand here, but it's like a signature that was, that had to be kind of, worked out of him. So it was a difficult thing for him to do, but he did sign.
Really was.
And
He
you can
did
see
sign.
from that, you can see from that autograph that he, obviously had some difficulty, but he did do it, and he signed a lot too in the later years. So we went over these guys. All right, so these are all obviously portraits, but from a variety of different sources. So let's go through these, starting at the top left.
All right, that top left, that is his first J Publishing. I want to say I think it's the 56. No, yeah. Yeah, he only had two during his playing days, or the first two there. Both
Right.
J Publishing. Let's say that's the 56 and 57, or 55 and 56. I can't remember how that goes.
Right.
So those are the first two on the left. Now the second one there, you'll see there's still a Brooklyn hat on his head. On the second
Oh
one on
yeah,
the
yeah,
left.
yeah, yeah.
The third one, however, has an LA hat, but
Right.
that's the same from the same day from the same photo. I'm not sure if they made it into an LA or if they changed his hat, if they gave him another hat to put on. But that is the third one there is from 1962. And it
Oh,
was J
okay.
Publishing came back and did a 1962 Old Timers, Giants, and Dodgers, picture pack kind of thing, team issue,
Yeah.
and it had all of the old timers, and it's very hard to find. And I've seen people
Yeah.
that
No.
put it up.
I've had the '62 Dodgers one with I think Drysdale's is the top photograph, and unfortunately Koufax is not in there. That's the J Publishing from '62, and you see that occasionally, but I've never seen that. What you're describing is the old timers.
Right. It was called the Old Timers, Giants, and Dodgers. So they did a Giant set, they did a Dodger set, but it's all. But that's I've seen that Campy like one or two other times, and no one and people say they call it a 58, but it's not. It's actually
Right.
they thought it was 58 because it has the LA on it, but it was actually
Right.
from that 62 set that they released, and it's the same picture. It's one that don't think grabbed. Actually, now I say that, the other one still has the LA hat too, but this is the same picture. Get
Right.
that there. All right. That is from it. Sometimes you'll see it, people say, oh, it's a 1958 stats card or whatever. That is what Roy would send out to his fans when he wrote them requesting an autograph or requesting
Right.
something in the mail. This was his reply as a thank you to his fans. So
Right.
he had
Right.
these, and then he sent them out up until the 1980s from everything I've read. But
Uh-huh.
they're still not real common, and you'll see a huge variation in prices. Like you'll see them sometimes for less than $10, and you'll see other people pricing them for over 100. But that's
Yeah.
what this is. It just has the stats on the back, and it goes all the way up through his last season. So it's got all of his career stats on it. But those are pretty cool too. But
All right. So.
and then there was two others there. Let's go back to
I'm
that in a
sorry.
second.
Yeah. Yep.
The one on the far right is his 1973 Hall of Fame picture pack.
Uh huh.
And then the bottom one there is a Type 1 photo that I found. I don't remember if Wade was involved in that one. I can't remember exactly now who it was, but one of the guys in the group sent me that. Just they found it, and I showed up in my
Yeah.
mail one day, and then I think they claimed up to. I can't remember. I've gotten so many things that the guys in this group. I mean, I'm so thankful for this group of guys, man.
Yeah.
And
I think
you
it was.
received
I
stuff
think it
from
was Wade.
too, and
Yeah.
yeah,
Wade pointed me this or last week to a guy on eBay who had a bunch of '50s photographs, and I got one of Farillo and Bauer together, and I got one of Spawn and Windup, and they're
oh
all
wow,
stamped on the back from the original photographer.
yeah,
Um, and so those are actually, I think they're getting mailed today, and that was Wade. So I'm assuming it's probably the same guy because he had a whole host of 1950s Type 1 photos, and they were all like brilliant.
yes,
So yes, the group is awesome. In fact, Wade is my guest next week. You
Oh,
stole my
awesome.
surprise.
Yay, that'll be great.
So I did this. Um, the picture on the left is yours. The picture on the right is my 50 Bowman that just came in. We just looked at it a few minutes ago, but I just wanted to kind of point out that obviously that photograph on the left was used as a basis for the painting that 50 Bowman put out.
Yes.
And it's a great sort of distinguished kind of portrait. But what in particular is the one on the left?
That is it's the same image for all 3 years, but it's the 47 to 49 or 48 to 49 Dodgers picture pack.
Picture pack, right? Okay.
And that one came to me, this one of my most recent ones. And again, big win for Kelly. She found that one. I think because she gives me a hard time and says, like, I don't know what to buy you anymore because you buy everything that you want. So sometimes I just send her, like, if I see something on eBay, especially around birthday, Christmas time or whatever, if I see something pop up that's on my list, I'll just send her the link. And
Right.
she was actually getting ready to take her shower one morning, and I was, getting up doing my thing and checking my email, and I saw it pop up in my, again, saved searches, and so I just sent her the link, and then she got in the shower, but before she came downstairs, it was gone. And
Oh,
I'm like, oh, Kurt, are you kidding me? But she bought it. She literally said she right before she had the shower water already on, the shower's already running. She got the ding and looked at her phone, and she's like, okay, just went ahead and took care of it. So that was,
technology.
yep, that was
So,
awesome.
all right, so we got these two. Uh, Obviously, the '67 Venezuela is not a cheap card, but neither is the Wilson Franks, a set that I do not own a card from, but which I'm always amused by the flying hot dogs.
Yes.
So tell us about these, how you got them, and anything else you want to talk about with these two beauties.
Okay, we'll start with the Wilson Franks. Let's get it up there for you to see. There we go. And that is a 4.
Mm-hmm.
And I guess it's called miscut, miscut, because you can see the no border on this left side, but back's beautiful as well.
Yep.
And this one again, it's been a couple of years ago now that popped up in an auction house, and somebody, I can't remember, I think it was Hunter, led the charge on that one. All of a sudden, I get a message from Hunter that a bunch of the guys in the group started chipping in. So this, like, he just led the charge to get guys together to get enough money for me to bid on this card, and they raised a good bit of money, and then I chipped in the rest, and was able to actually pull out a win and have that come home to me, because those are not inexpensive cards, and it's one
Nope.
that I just did not expect to be able to get. As like I said, a full-time artist, it's not like I'm, you know, yeah, I do well, and I love what I do, and that's the most important thing, But it's not
Sure.
like I've got tens of thousands to just throw at cards all the time. But yeah, so that was a huge deal for all those guys to chip in. I'm sure you were probably involved in that. And again, I
I
thank you.
I don't even remember.
I know I sent
It's
everyone a
possible.
message. Yeah, I sent everyone a message and thanked them for for their part in it and everything. It was pretty epic. And the moving on to the Vinny, this Venezuelan is sharp. I mean, let's get that
Yeah.
thing there. All the corners are beautiful. You can see down here, both sides. You get it to the right way there.
Yeah.
And the only flaws on this is a 1. The issue is it was
For
glued
that.
into
Yep.
its, little scrapbook, and someone underlined Brooklyn Dodgers on the back.
Yeah.
But other than that, that's an absolute beautiful card. And I always say you display the front of the card, not the back. So I'm not too concerned with what's on the back.
Yeah.
But
I have that with a couple of cards that are going to be shown on the channel in my next couple of episodes. But I feel like yeah, not only do you show the front, but also a lot of these cards that get held in binders or in, they're stuck into whatever that card was in, it preserves it. I mean, it fucks up the
Yeah.
back. Sorry, it screws up the back, but it makes the front that much better.
Yes.
So I think in a way you're you benefit and you get the lack of
Yeah.
a
And
real
the story
displayable
with
back.
them,
But
the story with the Venezuelan cards for any of our viewers that don't
Mhm.
know is, the cards were of course released, distributed in Venezuela and
Yeah,
printed in Venezuela, and they were, you know they had a like a scrapbook that you could buy to
right,
display the cards in, and basically they were encouraged to put little dots of, I guess, glue or rubber cement or something to hold the cards in the scrapbook, and that's how they were. Then you have all these little books, and you've actually seen, or we've seen some of these, the entire books come where the cards are still glued in the pages.
right.
That's how the backs get up. So this isn't actually paper loss. All of the card's original paper is under that.
Yeah,
That is
it's
just
probably actually paper added
paper
because that's
added from
probably
the scrapbook.
from the scrapbook, right?
You know, and that's one of those things that I've seen people talk about restoring, when you can take, like, I don't know if it's alcohol or something and a Q-tip and get that stuff off.
Yeah,
But I wouldn't want to in a million years take this out of this
yep.
case. It's a beautiful card, and I'm just happy with it the way it is.
Well, you should be because it is awesome. All right, so we got a couple more photographs here, both of which are pretty pretty great catcher photographs. Let's talk about the one on the left first, and then we'll go to the one on the right because I want to transition into another issue when we get to that.
The one on the left is a 53 Dodgers action photos. There
Hmm.
was it was another one of the picture pack kind of things, but sometimes they did shots of the players instead of the just the face portraits that you see in so many of the picture packs. It was actually ones with them in a, you know playing type shot. Like I've got one of Pee Wee in the same way, where he's, got a bat in his hand, and from this actually the same set. But
Right,
so that's a 53 Brooklyn Dodgers uh, action shot photo pack, and the one on the right is a wire photo,
right.
Associated Press wire photo. That is at Wrigley Field, and that is Tommy Buckshot Brown for the Cubs sliding into home, getting tagged out by Campy,
It
and that's from
so
1953 as well.
right. So the reason I bring that up, and I thought that might actually be one of the photos used in the '56, but it's not because that player is not in the '56 set. So what I did was I went through the entire 1956 set because I knew the Campanella was in some of these. Uh, I scrolled through pictures of the entire set, and I have the complete set. So I
Right.
went through and I pulled out all the ones that I thought were Campanella, and I teased this on Twitter. I said that Roy Campanella has 9 cards in the 1956 set, his own, the Dodgers team card, and 7 cameos. But I've come to realize that I oversold that because I know the Grady Hatton card is not Campanella because he's a Boston Red Sox player, so it couldn't be. So
Oh
we're going to
no.
take Brady Hatton out.
Yeah.
But I'm pretty sure that the rest of these are Campanella. Some of them are pretty more obvious than others. Like for instance, the Darryl Spencer card, which is the top right. You could see the 39, and
Oh yeah.
obviously he's got the Dodger blue. Bob Skinner below that, you can see again it's the Dodger blue, and he's a darker skinned individual. Dick Groat might not be him. I'm not certain because it's a little hard to tell. But the player in the Dick Groat card, he's got the Dodger blue on, but the facial complexion is maybe not the right. Um, uh, Wally Moon is definitely Campanella. You can see,
Oh yeah.
the Dodger blue and the right complexion. Um, this certainly, Lou Burdett is certainly him because you can see the 9 and the 39. And,
Oh yeah. Wow.
obviously he has Campanella's stocky stature there too. So that's pretty clear. But this one, Willie Jones, I've come to realize is also probably not Campanella. He's got the Dodger blue, but he's a thinner man with lighter complexion.
Right.
So I kind of oversold this as 7 cameos, but I think it's really just 5. So that is a cool aspect of the 1956 set. Of course, it's the action shots, and I also noticed as I went through the entire set that Yogi Berra appears more frequently than Campanella. And none of these shots, I was kind of disappointed because I was looking at Yankees. None of the shots are World Series shots, and obviously Campanella appeared in the World Series in 52, 53, 55, and 56. So you would think there would be some World Series shots because some of the Yogi shots are in fact World Series shots.
Yeah,
like the
Campy's card himself, Yogi is on Campy's card.
Oh, that's right.
On
that's
his 56.
Right. That's right. He's yes. Let me just go back here. Yeah, this is that is Yogi Berra number 8.
Yeah.
So that's a picture from the World Series, just not clear which World Series. With the Furillo, Yogi's in the Furillo card, but yes. You can find the picture. So I figured out what game it was, what inning, etc.
Oh wow! I've got that one right there. If you want me to pull it up for you, show everybody.
Now I'll go through that.
Okay, I say I've got the Furillo one over here, so no worries.
All right, so let's get back to Campy.
All right,
because we got him from we got him out of all those. Now we figured out it's 5 cameos in the 1956 set. So here's a nice selection of 7. I don't mean to be facetious about it, but these are generally what we know as oddball cards.
Exactly. That's what I
know
call them too.
The 2 Wheaties on the bottom middle with the orange background. What year are those?
1952.
They're both 52.
Yes, that's the only year they did those. With
is that right?
Yes. So the one I talked about earlier was the 51 Premium, was that 5x7 photo, and then they only did the 52s for the small ones with the orange backgrounds.
So we've got, I think it's the upper left is the 1955 golden stamp.
The upper center's the golden stamp.
Oh, the golden stamp's the upper center. Okay.
Yep. Let me pull it up here. There we go.
Hang on. There we go. Yep.
Now
that's an interesting. I was watching and not bidding, but watching, and I've been watching for a while now. The complete book you can buy.
You used to be able to get them really cheap.
I don't know. I mean, I've seen them in the $250 range, but it looks like I went back and tracked all the sales, and they're in the $2 to $250 range. But the last few that I've been tracking have gone over that. It really depends on the condition, the centering of the Jackie. And a lot of times there's a centering on the Jackie that's not great because I think he's on the end. Right. So those go cheaper. And also the 55 Golden Stamps has a Koufax rookie, essentially an alternative rookie. Right. And so the quality of the Koufax is another thing that determines that. So I don't know why my buzzer is ringing because nobody's coming in at this point. So then the stamp on the upper left, was it the Eureka?
Yeah, that's a 1949 Eureka.
Right. Okay. Because I do have a card from that set. So that honestly is another nice shot.
49 Eureka Sports Stamps.
Awesome.
And I got that one on eBay a couple years ago as well.
And then the upper right.
That is the 15.5 New York American Journal.
Right, New York American Journal. Right, yeah. There's a lot. You see a lot of these of the New York players, like the Giants. But I don't think I've ever seen the Campanella before. Where'd you get that one?
Also, I got it on eBay. It was I think I've only seen a few of them pop up for sale, and I've had that one now I think I got it and Yogi at the same time. Like it might have even been the same seller. My Yogi's graded, but the Campy's not.
Uh-huh.
And it seemed like maybe this, no, I think does Pee Wee have one too? Oh, I can't remember. But I know I got it, and it didn't seem like it wasn't correctly labeled in the sale. Like it didn't say 1954 New York American Journal. It just
Right.
said Roy Campanella, card or something. It didn't actually have the name of what it was.
Yep.
And so I got it for less than I expected to get it for.
Yep.
And but it's really nice. It's I didn't grab it to pull down here, but I can if you want to get a closer look at it. But
No, we're good. The other one is the Campy baseball scoops, which
yes.
I know I have the Spawn no hitter from that set. That's 61 or 62, I think.
Yeah, 61 on that one. Then you've got the larger horizontal cards were from 60. So it's the scoops,
Oh, okay.
and the other ones were called the highlights.
Uh-huh. And then what's the bottom, the far right bottom there?
That is a 1955 All American Sports Clubs. Those came. There's Yogi, there's Campy, there's Pee Wee, there's I think Musial has them. There's a lot, and there's players from all different sports. There's
Uh-huh.
like football players, tennis players, basketball players, all all different sports in that 55 All American Sports Club. But
Is it hand cut?
yeah, those are hand cut,
Uh-huh.
and they are, obviously pretty small, and they're pretty thin stock. But like I think Sam Bartoloni just the other day had one for sale that was graded, I think a PSA 5 or something, and everyone kept tagging me in it. Mine is extremely nice as well. There's no creases, no wrinkles. It's just, I got it raw a couple of years ago on eBay, but the everyone kept tagging me in that one of his because he's like, this is a really rare card. Population is like, I don't know if it's like pop 5 or whatever it is. And after it sold, I think he sold it for like $275 or whatever. And he
Wow.
commented and goes, Passion for baseball, you can unblock me now. And I replied, I'm like, you aren't blocked, Sam. No worries, man. He's like, I know, because I felt bad because everyone was tagging you in it. He had it up for sale for like more than a week, and it was like I must have got tagged in it like 3 or 4 times.
Oh boy. Is there anything on the back?
No, they are blank. It is blank
Okay.
back.
Well, sometimes people tag me for stuff that I already have too. So
Yeah, it happens, and I look at it as it's just great for looking out. Friends for looking out for
yeah,
each other. That's what it is. What it
absolutely.
all is.
So we got a series of photos again, and this we are revisited again by that same taking the mask off photo that appears so many times.
Right, that is
That
the
iconic one.
51 Wheaties.
That's the
Uh,
Wheaties. Okay.
that's the 51 Wheaties premium,
Yep.
and that's the one that
So
came from Miller.
you had to probably cut off proof of purchase and mail in, like you bought 10 Wheaties boxes or something, and then
Yes, yeah, that's
they
how they
send it back to you.
got those. Yes.
And then the four to the right.
Okay.
Okay, so one I think we just talked about before, which is the card that he was sending out to
Yes.
autograph seekers. And what are the other three?
All right. The top two are JD McCarthy postcards,
Mm-hmm.
and those JD McCarthy postcards are beautiful things. I don't know if you know much about JD McCarthy. He was a photographer who went to spring training every year and sold his services to players. This wasn't a a card company or someone else, but basically what he did is he offered the players. He would take their photo, he would sign them, take their photo, and send them postcards to send out to their fans. And like Wade recently got a Clemente that is very tough to find. But he would like, there's multiple years of these, and they're very hard to distinguish the years. But on the back of the postcard, it's just the way that the postcard is laid out in the back and what the words say on the back that distinguish, oh, this one is from 56 to 59, or this one is from 61 to 63. But like he ran these and printed these all the way up into the 80s, but it depended on how the postcard is printed on the back as to what year it is. Like the two that I have there are in the 50s. Like the 50, the one on the left I believe is like 53 to 55, and the one on the right I think is the 56 to 59, the one with the autograph there.
Right.
But so there's so many different variations, and I found there's a link, and I can maybe send it to you later if you want to put it in the comments or whatever.
Yes, that's excellent. Yeah,
that helps you date your JD McCarthy postcards, and it's a guy that I've been talking to about trying to find a way to get them added as a set to the trading card database, because they're not on there, but there are thousands of these things. There are players that they might not even made the majors,
right.
and you can find one of their postcards out there that they signed. They signed with him in spring training, and he really went after the rookies a lot. So it's like the Clemente. I think the Clemente that Wade found was from his rookie year,
Wow.
or right around there. The picture was taken in his rookie year. But
so now you've opened up a new can of worms for my eBay searches. So JD McCarthy.
JD McCarthy postcards. Yeah, they are.
Yeah.
They can be pricey, or they can be, like I've got let's see, 1, 2, 3. I think I've got 5 different Yogi ones. There's one of Yogi and Rizzuto. There's 2 others of just Yogi. I've got one when he was managing with the Mets. There's all kinds of different ones. So it's a rabbit hole, but I'll send you the link to look at to help with
yes,
because there's
please
a guy
do,
that's
because I'll put it down in the description.
Absolutely,
so the last one is this. The one is the bottom right. That one
beautiful shot. That is a James T. Elder postcard from 1966.
Okay.
Those are extremely hard to find, and that actually, I don't, as far as a postcard goes, that thing was $600. Yeah, that's how hard the players are to find. At least the big names. I've seen a couple other big names. I've seen like Jackie and a Ruth. And then maybe not Ruth. There was another, I can't remember who the other one is. There's Jackie and somebody else that I've seen, and they're $1,500, $2,000. I was really fortunate to find that Campy. The Campy's got a crease across it, but it's a beautiful shot. It's right behind me. I'm just gonna grab that so you get a closer look.
Yeah, let's do that. There we go.
All right, here we go.
Oh, okay. Boy, he looks pretty serious.
That's a photo that, again, it's James T. Elder. It is a postcard. It's got the postcard markings on the back there. But that photo was never used for any other card.
Yeah, no, I don't think I've ever actually seen that photo before. Nice.
Yeah, so James T. Elder postcards. But they are phenomenal. He was, I don't know, I've read some stuff about Elder, but I can't remember all the details. I know that he photographed baseball players for a long time, but he's got some beautiful, beautiful photos. Start looking at those postcards, man. It is definitely a rabbit hole.
That's it. This is the end. I made it. I put it at the end because I thought it was a nice way to finish up.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let's see that. So, what is this particularly? What is that?
This is a 1953 wire photo, Associated Press wire photo. This was also, I believe, this was part of the Secret Santa stuff from the guys in the group this year. that was, I think, right after the 53. Let's see, I can't remember what the. I can find the details again. Oh, it's on here. Let's see. It is. Actually, it says. No, that's the wrong thing. That doesn't say. Yeah, it's 53 wire photo. I can't remember the other details of it right now.
Is it
But
World Series? Is it from the World Series?
it might be. I believe
Yeah.
it. You're probably right. It probably is 53 World Series. But yeah, that one I think is I just got it. You know, so like I said, it was part of the Secret Santa stuff. And I need to get a new a holder to put it up in my display somewhere. And it's like, which side does it go on? Does it go on the Yogi side? Does it go on the Campy side? But I think it's
You
going to
put
have
it
to go on the
put it right
Yogi
in the
side
middle.
because my Campy stuff is too full. I believe. I think I still have some room over it with Yogi, but
Well, that's the Campanella collection, and my friend, thank you again for coming on. Your Yogi episode has been very popular, and I trust that the Campanella one will be too. And you're obviously a popular guest and a popular person amongst our collectors group. So again, thank you so much for taking time out. I know we recorded a little earlier this morning to fit your schedule, and I appreciate you, making time for the show. Any last words for the Campanella collectors who might have come this far with us?
yeah, just keep searching for those jewels. And there's other things we didn't discuss, like the Bell brand potato chips.
Oh
There's so
yeah,
many
yeah,
cool cards. There's
yeah,
so many cool camping cards out there that are just, you know, the oddballs are so much fun. I love them. I love finding all the little oddball cards. And Campy's not like he's not unattainable to get. There's three cards that I don't have of his that are really high priced. The Stallmeyer Wieners, the uh, the Star Cow decal with him and Jackie Robinson, the Type 2 Star Cow, and then the 52 Tip Top Bread. Those are the only three play day cards listed on TCDB that I do not have.
right,
Everything else is in the collection. But there's so much that it's not that hard to get. He doesn't have that many cards.
yeah.
You know,
Well, I mean, his career was cut short,
it
although
was.
honestly, his 1957, 56 and 57 seasons, he's clearly, not the player that won 3 MVPs. So
Right.
unclear how much longer he would have played. But still, yes, the real shortening of Campanella's career is not the back end; it's the front
The
end,
front end,
because
absolutely.
he doesn't become the regular catcher until the age of 26, and by then he's already been a phenomenal player for
Yeah.
the Baltimore Elite Giants. If you see his numbers, his last 2 seasons with Baltimore, I think one year he batted 388, and the other year he batted like 369. So he was clearly ready. Um,
Yeah.
yeah. So
What could have been,
again,
right?
thank you so much for
Thank you,
coming
David.
on. Viewers, next week we will have, as we talked about before, our mutual friend Wade is going to come on and show us his Monty Irvin collection. So another baseball pioneer. Happy for that. And then at some point during the week, I'm going to do one of those episodes where I show my recent acquisitions, because there are a lot of good ones to go over. I've had a good couple of months of collecting. So, Stacy, we will talk to you soon, my friend.
Thanks
Viewers,
very
we will
much,
see you
David.
back here next week, possibly during the week. So stay tuned. So everybody, see you soon.